Stop making stupid people famous. I don't like Kanye West. The guy is a moron. I used to. I loved his debut album, The College Dropout. It's one of my all-time favorite hip-hop albums. Remember Slow Jams? I mean, think about this. Kanye West was a producer first, and then he became a rapper. He cut his teeth making music for the likes of Ludacris, Jay-Z, Freeway, Mos Def, Alicia Keys, Common, Talib Kweli, Twista. So the guy knows his way around music, and so when you have a producer who starts rapping, and it's like not just good raps but great raps in a new modern way that kind of redefines the whole genre itself. He talks about stuff that mattered and it was a lot of fun to listen to. The guy rewrote hip-hop music. He really did. This was great music. It was his album. It was Kanye West from start to finish. He wrote it and he produced it and he rapped on it, and it was amazing. Growing up in Chicago, being discriminated, religion having a heavy influence on his music, the accident he was in, slow songs, fast songs, featuring all kinds of amazing talent that he already produced tracks for. Slow Jams, Jesus Walks, the new workout plan, All Falls Down, 2 words, Never Let Me Down, all rounded out 21 tracks of a solid debut album that just breathed new life to hip-hop and music in general. Kanye had this unique way of sampling songs for his beats. He didn't just sample hooks and sounds from music to make more music. He reworked the entire song into an entirely new sounding piece of material and then rapped over it. It's a very interesting way of going about creating music from other music. He would sometimes even take the vocal tracks from the songs and use them as his choruses and then rap verses in between them, kind of remixing old style music with new style hip-hop. It was just the best of both worlds kind of mashup style music, and it worked. He made it work really well. And oh so humble too. At least he seemed to be humble. Sure, he bragged a whole bunch on his tracks and even in the spotlight of the media. He did so in a way that kept his ego to the side, and he had more of a humble approach to it as far as proving himself as a rapper first. He already knew he was a great producer, but he wanted to also prove that he was a great rapper. Yeah. Of course, Jay-Z, Common, Ludacris, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, Twista, and Freeway all featured on his first album. These are huge names, and he had them on his debut album. Then he released Late Registration. I'm not about to say I hate this album, but I definitely can tell you I don't think it's very good. I knew something was wrong when I heard the lead-in track, Heard Them Say, was featuring Adam Levine. I don't know who I hate more, Adam Levine or Kanye West. It's Adam Levine. This was after all the hype that his lead single Diamonds had built up. So this song hits the air and people just eat it up. People are so excited for this album to come out, and I get this thing when it drops on day 1. This was a great way for Kanye West to transition from just not only a great producer and a humble rapper, but into a great just songwriter, rapper, producer, superstar. He really became a superstar by the time his second album came out. And he had every right to. He proved his ability to rap alongside the best of them. I listened to the entire album a few times and I just could not get into it. The Registration did have some good tracks though. Touch the Sky, Gold Digger, We Major, and a Diamonds remix? Oh yeah, that's right. This amazing song got put at the very end of the album as if it wasn't even supposed to be there at all in the first place. Instead of the original Diamonds track, we get the remix about 2/3 of the way through the album, and it is a very sloppily put together remix featuring Jay-Z. Never Let Me Down off of his first album was an incredible song featuring both rappers to just showcase their absolute talent, and I guess what they did was they tried to recreate that with this Diamonds remix, but it sounds like Jay just kind of sent him a verse and said, here you go, work with that. I don't even think they were in the same room when they were recording this song. I don't know what's wrong with Late Registration make me think so little of it. I feel like there's too much going on in the music of most songs, almost as if there may be too much noise. Crack Music, Hey Mama, and even We Major just have way too much going on in them. And then the other songs don't have enough going on. Drive Slow, My Way Home, Roses, and Heard 'Em Say. It's like I'm listening to 2 incomplete albums mashed into one full-length, really long album. This is known as what's called a sophomore slump. The sophomore slump is a term used to describe when a band or an artist has a hugely successful breakout album and then the expectations for the second one are artificially inflated to live up to the likes of their debut. It's like the bar is set so high, and if they don't match it, we're not going to be impressed no matter what it is going in. Generally speaking, nobody's second album is going to be as good as the first. Like, just think of your favorite band or artist, now think of their second album. Is that your favorite album? It's probably not. So this led to his third album, which was Graduation. I'm gonna get this out here right now. I only heard Graduation for this project. I was immensely disappointed with Late Registration, and then when I found out that the industry was beefing up the idea of 50 Cent and Kanye West both releasing albums on the same day, and you kind of had to pick a side. When people put money before the love of their work, I feel like the passion is no longer there and they're just doing it to make ends meet instead of because of the love that they have for the industry or the art that they're doing. No matter which side you pick, the music industry wins and you lose your money. Regardless of all that, how is Graduation? It's great. Oh my god, it's so great! Why couldn't Graduation be his second album? Trim the fat. Only 13 tracks long, just a few guest verses by the likes of Lil Wayne and Mos Def. These songs just worked. After listening to Graduation from start to finish, I can happily say that this is not where Kanye West fell off his rocker and lost his mind. So after his trilogy of school albums, Kanye West had his own identity that was not only separate from Jay-Z, but comparably as good as Jay-Z, who was not even anywhere near Graduation. There was not a single guest verse by Jay-Z on Graduation. Kanye West had now proven that he could stand on his own as a hip-hop superstar. So what was next? A lot of things happened at once for Mr. West after he released Graduation. He lost his mother. Shortly after that, his girlfriend and then fiance of over 6 years left him. This was all in the span of a few months just before he was supposed to go on tour to promote his new album. That's enough to drive any man crazy. It would seem that this was the breaking point for Kanye West. The seams that were holding his sanity together were stretched to their limits and they finally broke and he lost it. One thing about Mr. West is he's always been fighting the respect of his peers. There were numerous occasions during award shows where he would rush the stage to interrupt people accepting their awards because he didn't win the same category, and he was very offended. The most famous incident being when Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift. Admittedly, this is my absolute favorite thing to ever happen in pop culture. It was hysterical. It was also very disrespectful, yes. And we all know how I feel about Taylor Swift, but that's regardless. You don't interrupt somebody like that. Kanye West started to have less and less of a filter and just a way of controlling himself in the public eye. And then at this point, I had completely abandoned his album. I didn't even listen to 808 and Heartbreaks, or his fifth album, or his most recent album. All of his lead tracks are awful now. What makes Kanye West different from the likes of Justin Bieber, or Miley Cyrus, or Taylor Swift, is that Kanye West thinks he's a genius. The guy has been quoted numerous times as comparing himself to the likes of Jesus, the likes of Shakespeare. He's trying to be a fashion designer. He's trying to get shoes out. Basically, he's following Jay-Z's footsteps and living in his shadow. I'm not sure what it's like to live in Jay-Z's shadow, but I'm sure it's enough to drive any man to the brink of insanity. And so he's kind of put music on the back burner and put less and less effort and polish into his music and just says more stuff for shock and awe and thinks it's amazing and creative. But really, it's just bad and sloppy and poorly executed music. Yes, he puts on extravagant live shows, but he also is very self-centered and self-righteous in his behavior. Kanye West needs to stop being so stupid because he's famous. I think he just really needs to understand that hip-hop and music production are his two greatest traits, and he should stop focusing all of his money and effort and energy and time into fashion and shoes and the public eye and winning awards, and just focus on the craft that got him famous in the first place. Being an incredible producer and an equally incredible rapper. The man is a genius. A musical genius. Yes, lyrically, musically, the man is a genius. But if you run around screaming you're a genius all day long, people are going to start calling you stupid. What Kanye West and everybody really needs to do is not so much talk about being a genius, but just let their work speak for itself. Do I think Kanye West deserves a second chance? Absolutely. I think he should take a year off. It's not like Kim Kardashian's doing anything. Jay-Z can take a year off. Let Kanye West take a year off. Relax, travel around the world, see some things, enjoy your child and your wife, enjoy the company of your friends, and then, produce some more songs for a while. Just go back to production and then go back into rapping. Make another amazing album that reinvents the wheel again. Don't just make a bunch of noise and yell a bunch of obscene and really awkward raps over stupid songs and call it gold. You are not God. Does the world need more Kanye West? Yes, I know. I hate the guy because he's an arrogant person who talks too much about how amazing he is and then feels like people don't give him enough respect. Kanye West is spreading himself too thin. I think he should trim the fashion and the shoes and just focus on music because that's where he's best. I let the subconscious kind of take a back seat on this round because to me Kanye West deserves better than what he's gotten over the years. The man is really good at what he does. It's just the problem now is nobody takes him seriously, and is with all these tragic things that have happened to him at the very cusp of his jump into superstardom, it really shifted his potential into a negative direction. I feel like if he could just bring it back to push it into a better direction, he will have so much more to offer this world than he really does now. Because to me, all he's offering this world is a waste of time and a waste of energy and a waste of effort. And to me, that's very sad because I know he's capable of so much more. So Kanye West, stop being so stupid. You're famous.